This is a vintage North Central Airlines calendar that was just a box lot extra. I believe they were based out of Minneapolis. And they may have been the forerunner to Northwest Airlines. Not certain of that. But many tranquil scenes. And it's sold for $40 and it's going to Apple Valley, Minnesota, up by the Twin Cities. After finally selling one of these 5-packs of 110 film, somebody inquired a couple days after that sale if they could buy 30 of them, or 6 5-packs. So I gave them a special deal, all 6 for $90. Again, I paid just $10 for a whole box of these. This is another Astron power supply, regulated power supply, 12 volt for ham radio enthusiasts. It's all boxed up, but this is what it looks like. I always include a shot of the voltage readout on my meter so people know that it's up and working properly. And this sold for $40. Another pair of military combat boots. These are circa 1981. And I believe they were in Saudi Arabia because inside the boot was this little canister. I think it's a med kit marked Saudi sand. And, well, I won't try and open it. Probably spill it all over the place, but it is full of that ugly looking desert sand. And this took quite a while to sell, but finally they did sell for $50. This is another part off that Marantz amplifier that I just started dismantling. This is the balance control knob. And this sold for $10. This is a Levi's San Francisco denim trucker jacket with the fleece lining. Now, I used to find these all the time, but apparently they've become quite popular, and even thrift stores where I found this charged quite a bit. I had to pay $40 for this. And I was thinking I might get $150 or even $170 for it. But when I got it home, in the bright sunlight, I noticed there's a little bit of a red tinge to the fleece lining. Apparently somebody must have washed this with something red. Well, I disclosed that in the listing and put it up for $100. And it sold to someone in Woy Woy, Australia via the global shipping program. $100. I haven't sold a lot of phones lately, mostly because I had no way to test them unless I brought them to a friend's house who had a landline, and they no longer have that. But I came across a device at a garage sale that allows you to use your traditional phone like this via Bluetooth that hooks up to your cell phone. And so you can just have somebody call you and your traditional phone will ring and you could talk through it. So it's easy to test. And this white phone was just a couple dollars at a garage sale, cleaned up real nice. This sold for $50. I found this wool blazer at a garage sale. I only wanted $3 for it, and I thought the lining, paisley lining, was real interesting. When I got it home, I noticed on the inside pocket, it was made by Studio City Clothiers in Los Angeles for a Lem Banker. So I looked up the name Lem Banker, and apparently he is a renowned sports gambler in Las Vegas. This was custom made in 1973. So I thought, well, maybe I got something here, and I put it up for sale for $100. And I've had it probably since this spring, and it finally sold. And it's going to someone in El Paso, Texas. This is a pair of Florsheim side zip boots, commonly referred to as beetle boots. Nice Cuban heel. And I pick these up whenever I can find them because they sell rather quickly. These sold, probably took a month, but they sold for $30. Just a couple dollars at a garage sale. Another Cobra 2 model. This one again is sealed, brand new, vintage. And this one for $180. This is an Acura RSX X-Mod remote control car. Just the car and the controller along with the case. And this sold for $50. This is the last pair of 5 that I purchased for $20 at a garage sale of running shoes, different brands. They were all the same size, and I had hoped that at least one pair was going to fit me right, but none of them were comfortable, so they all went up for sale, and this last pair of Sauconys took quite a while. These are the Ride 5 model. Pretty good shape. And these, like the others, sold for $40. I'm sure all these models are getting boring, but just a reminder, if you ever find some built models, they can go for some pretty good money. And you can usually get them cheap. This one is a 1967 Ford GT. It's actually got some nicks in the paint and whatnot, but still sold for $90. This is another stereo receiver manual that I got it along with the receiver, and I sold this receiver about a month ago. And the reason I sell them separate is because you usually don't get more money just because it has the manual with it. And I got $25 for this all by itself. The ham radio hobby is still alive and well. A couple more receiving coils. I don't know much about them. I'm learning a little bit more about ham radios. And if you ever see these out in the wild, pick them up, because I sold this pair for $70. This is a very small HO scale, or 1/64th scale Mustang Streetracer. I've got, this came part of that hobby collection I bought, and there's a ton of these, but boy, they're tedious to list each one because they're all different. And they only go for about 10 bucks. This one took about 2 days to sell, but $10. This is the grill piece for a 1974 to 78 Mustang 2. It's used, but it's still sold for $130. This is another new old stock Ford part. This is weather stripping off a Mustang 2. I had to do a lot of research to decode the part number, figure out whether it's right or left side, and the year and all that kind of thing. But it paid off. This sold for $100. This is a Jvc turntable. I actually bought this quite a while ago because the pictures of it were in my old house, so it was probably last summer. It's a real nice turntable, but Jvc is just not a real popular brand for turntables. And so after that length of time, I finally got a best offer of $150, and he lived in the next town over, so he just picked it up, which saved me all the hassle of packing this turntable. And I probably paid $15 to $20 for this. It's been so long I don't remember. $150. Another unbuilt Mustang 2 model from the vast hobby collection I acquired. This one sold the same day I listed it, so I always wonder if I listed it too cheaply. But I could only find one other online like it, and it sold on Etsy for $25. Well, I priced this at $40, and it just took a few hours to sell. So maybe I should have taken into account the rarity of it. But it is kind of a cheap model. It's not a real good one. It's made by a very well-known company called Palmer Hobbies out of New York. But in any respect, it did sell for $40. Another vintage Ford part. This is another weather stripping. This one's for the left side, and it sold as soon as I put it up for sale to the guy who bought the right side yesterday. $99.99. There is some money in these little matchbox size cards. This is actually a Tomy or Tomica. It It's a Mustang 2. 1975 Gia, it looks like. And this sold for $15. If you see these, you know, you can buy a bunch of them very cheap, usually at garage sales. And, you know, they're a little tedious to list, but hey, 15 bucks. This circuit board is from a Marantz that I parted out about, I think it was last winter. It took this long before somebody came along that needed this part. They probably just need the tone control pots that are on it, which can be removed. And this is going to Sao Paulo, Brazil. I like that they're on the global shipping program now, because I used to get lots of inquiries if I would ship to Brazil, and now I can. And this sold for $40. This is a pair of Danner boots in Realtree camo. I've had these for a couple of years, and mostly because of the wear seen on the toe, I'm sure. But I had them priced at $80, and for Danner boots, that's not a bad price. But after a couple of years, it's time to let them go, and I took a half-price offer of $40 for them. More ham radio equipment. This is actually a device for tuning your antenna. It's called a dummy load watt meter. And this ham radio stuff sells pretty good. This particular unit sold for $100.